since the dawn of time.
Okay, so this is complete and total bull crap. I mean, I worked hard to become the most popular character in this series, and the Apprentice just cancels it now? I mean, sure, I stole his equipment and kept him from making new episodes, and I'm probably responsible for him getting disinterested, but God, I don't even get to be in the new series. Well, fine, if he's not going to continue it, I am, because I've learned a little bit of something about videos. So, for the first episode, I'm going to read you a little bit of something. And I think it embodies the third way perfectly. It's my favorite story ever. The Lottery in Babylon. Like all men in Babylon, I have been proconsul. Like all, a slave. I have known omnipotence, opprobrium, imprisonment. Look. The index finger on my right hand is missing. Look, through the rip in my cape, you can see a vermilion tattoo on my stomach. It is the second symbol, Beth. This letter, on nights when the moon is full, gives me power over men whose mark is Gimel, but it subordinates me to the men of Aleph, who on moonless nights owe obedience to those marked with Gimel. In the half-light of dawn, in a cellar, I have cut the jugular vein of sacred bulls before a black stone. During a lunar year, I have been declared invisible. I shouted, and they did not answer me. I stole bread, and they did not behead me. I have known what the Greeks do not know, incertitude. In a bronze chamber before the silent handkerchief of the strangler, hope has been faithful to me, as has panic in the river of pleasure. Heraclides Ponticus tells with amazement that Pythagoras remembered having been Pyrrhus, and before that, Euphorbus, and before that, some other mortal. In order to remember similar vicissitudes, I do not need to have recourse to death or even to deception. I owe this almost atrocious variety to an institution which other republics do not know or which operates in them in an imperfect and secret manner. The lottery. I have not looked into its history. I know what the wise men cannot agree. I know of its powerful purposes what a man who is not versed in astrology can know about the moon. I come from a dizzy land where the lottery is the basis of reality. Until today, I have thought of as little about it as I have about the conduct of indecipherable divinities, or about my own heart. Now, far from Babylon and its beloved customs, I think with a certain amount of amazement about the lottery, and about the blasphemous conjectures with which veiled men murmur into the twilight. My father used to say that formerly. A matter of centuries? Of years? The lottery in Babylon was a game of plebeian character. He recounted, I do not know whether rightly, that barbers sold, in exchange for copper coins, squares of bone, or of parchment adorned with symbols. In broad daylight, a drawing took place. Those who won received silver coins without any other test of luck. The system was elementary, as you can see. Naturally, these lotteries failed. Their moral virtue was nil. They were not directed at all of men's faculties, but only at hope. In the face of public indifference, the merchants who founded these venal lotteries began to lose money. Some tried to reform. The interpolation of a few unfavored tickets in the list of favorable numbers. By means of this reform, the buyers at number squares ran double the risk of winning a sum and of paying a fine that could be considered considerable. This slight danger, for every 30 favorite numbers there was one unlucky one, awoke, as is natural, the interest of the public. The Babylonians threw themselves into the game. Those who did not acquire chances were considered pusillanimous, cowardly. In time, that justified disdain was doubled. Those who did not play were scorned, but also the losers who paid the fine were scorned. The company, as it became known then, had to take care of the winners, who could not cash in their prizes if almost the total amount of the fines was unpaid. It started a lawsuit against the losers. The judge condemned them to pay the original fine and costs or spend several days in jail. All chose jail in order to defraud the company. The bravado of a few is the source of the omnipotence of the company and of its metaphysical and ecclesiastical power. A little while after, the The lottery started omitting the amounts of fines and limited themselves to publishing the days of imprisonment that each unfavorable number indicated. That laconic spirit, almost unnoticed at the time, was of capital importance. It was the first appearance in the lottery of non-monetary elements. The success was tremendous. Urged by the clientele, the company was obliged to increase the favorable numbers. Everyone knows that the people of Babylon are fond of logic and even of symmetry. It was logical for the lucky numbers to be compared in round coins and the unlucky ones in days and nights of imprisonment. Some moralists reason that the possession of money does not always determine happiness, and that other forms of happiness are perhaps more direct. Another concern swept the quarters of the poorer classes. The members of the College of Priests multiplied their stakes and enjoyed all the vicissitudes of terror and hope. The poor, with reasonable or unavoidable envy, knew that they were excluded from that notoriously delicious rhythm. They just desired that all, rich and poor, should participate equally in the lottery. Inspired in indignant agitation, the memory of which the years have not erased. Some obstinate people did not understand, or pretended not to understand, that it was a question of new order of a necessary historical stage. A slave stole a crimson ticket, which in the drawing discredited him with the burning of his tongue. The legal code fixed that same penalty for the one who stole a ticket. Yes. Some Babylonians argued that he deserved the burning irons in his status of a thief. Others, generously, that the executioner should apply it to him because chance had determined the executioner should apply it to him. Sorry, I lost a bit here. Because chance had determined the executioner should apply it to him because chance had determined it that way. There were disturbances, there were lamentable drawings of blood, but the masses of Babylon finally imposed their will against the opposition of the rich. The people achieved ample its generous purposes. In the first place, it caused the company to accept total power. The unification was necessary given the vastness and complexity of the new operations. In the second place, it made the lottery secret, free, and general. The mercenary sale of chances was abolished. Once initiated in the mysteries of Brawl, every free man automatically participated in the sacred drawings, which took place in the labyrinths of God every 60 nights, and which determined his destiny until the next drawing. The consequences were incalculable. A fortunate play could bring about his promotion to the Council of Wise Men, or the imprisonment of an enemy, public or private, or finding, in the peaceful darkness of his room, the woman who begins to excite him and who he never expected to see. Ha! Whores! A bad play, mutilation, different kinds of infamy, death, at times one single fact, the vulgar murder of C, the mysterious hypothesis of B, was the happy solution of 30 or 40 drawings. To combine the plays was difficult, but one must remember, well, anyway, I'm running a little bit over time here. Needless to say, you should go pick up a copy yourself because it's quite an interesting story. I personally find the works of Jorge Luis Borges to be fascinating and intellectually stimulating, and you should too. So if you want to read like a man, I suggest you pick up his books. Anyway, until next time, kick ass, take names, and be muscly.